Welcome everybody. My name's Scott. I'd like to welcome everyone from Sparx Systems YouTube channel. It's great to have you here with us today. Today we're going to be looking at strategic modeling, and in particular we're going to be looking at something a little bit different, which is the value chain. So welcome Stephen, it's great to have you on board with us again today. Can you tell us a little bit about the value chain and how you can represent it in Enterprise Architect and how it might be used by a business?
Thank you for the introduction, Scott. I'm delighted to be here. We are going to talk about the value chain, which is part of the strategic modeling facilities in Enterprise Architect. And as always, let's start with our perspective. Scott, I've been doing some work with wireframes today. So I have the wireframe perspective selected, but we're going to switch our perspective to something from the strategic perspective set, and we'll choose all strategy, so all strategic modeling. So the tool now focuses on this particular part of our modeling, which is the strategic modeling. We've got organization charts, value chains, and all sorts of other things there. I'm going to do things from first principles. I could use the builder page to create a model, but I want to do it from first principles to show people how easy it is to do this. So I'll just close this builder page and let's go into our node in the project browser, and we'll choose strategic model and we'll add a package there called value chain. We've got that there. We'll do package only for the moment, and we're going to add a diagram. So again, you can see that the tool is focused us onto strategic modeling. Let's choose this one here and choose a value chain as the diagram type. We simply choose create diagram, and Enterprise Architect does the rest of the work. You can see we've got a blank canvas, and we've also got a toolbox which has the required value chain elements in here to be able to create the value chain. The first thing we need to put on is what we call a gross sale. Now just remember, Scott, the purpose of a value chain, and I don't want to go into this in detail, but the purpose of the value chain is to describe the full range of activities that are required to create a product or service, from conception right through the different phases of production, right through to the final consuming of the product or service and disposal of it by the customer. So let's have a look at this. We'll create our gross sales, and we'll put that element on there. We'll leave the title as gross sales there. And what we want to do is we want to put in a number of primary activities. So let's have a look at those, and we'll drop those on. So we'll look at our toolbox, and we'll drop a primary activity on there, and we'll call this inbound logistics. And we'll line that up there. And EA does a lot of the work for us. And the next one we'll drop another primary activity on. This one will be called operations. So again, we'll line that up, and EA does the work for us. And another one, outbound logistics. Again, line it up. We've got marketing and sales as an activity. You can see how easy this is to create the diagram. And finally,
each of those elements just clicking in place. So
yep, that's right. They're just clicking in place. So EA is doing that work of positioning those and lining them up correctly. So let's do that there now, and let's do what I think is important. And Scott, in my own practice, I see lots of people rushing to complete models or not taking the time to be detailed about what they're doing. It's very important that you put in notes onto each of these. So I've just copied some notes in there about the inbound logistics encompasses the critical process of sourcing, procuring, etc. But that's an important thing, so that when people click on a model element, they're going to find the notes that are going to explain what it is. So this is all to do with our urban parking system. So we'll put these notes in. And you can see here, operations represent the core execution phase where the digital parking meter system is brought to life through hardware installation, software development, etc. So having put those primary activities in, we can put in supporting activities as well. So what I'm going to do now is drag a supporting activity from the toolbox onto the palette there, and I'm going to call this one procurement. And again, EA will do the work for me there. And when I'm looking at procurement, I might want to put some notes in about procurement, and I'll do that as I'm going along this time. So with that selected, the notes window is conveniently positioned there, and I can put that there. And the notes are saying procurement manages the strategic sourcing of hardware, software, and services critical to the digital parking meter system's operational excellence. So that's the start of it. What I'm going to do now, Scott, is get you to perform some magic, and we'll take this model a little bit further.
There you go, Stephen. I've performed our magic, and we've got a nice detailed diagram. I have noticed that you've gone to a lot of effort to put notes on nearly all of the elements in this value chain. What's some of the benefits of spending that extra time providing detailed notes for all of your model elements this early in the process?
Yeah, great question, Scott. And as I said, it's one of the things that I find in my consulting practice when I go to organisations, that there are very few organisations that have detailed notes in the elements. The importance of it really is that it's a method for communicating ideas. The model that you're creating is a narrative. It's telling a story, and it's telling that story to all sorts of people. Some people may already understand a lot about value chains and understand, what parts of the value chain are doing. But more commonly, there are lots of people that don't know exactly what has been formulated, for example, in the value chain, or for that matter, any type of diagram or model that you've got. So having the notes there is a way of communicating a story to the people. And this isn't just, this story is the beginning at a strategic level, but the strategic level is always decomposed or broken down into all sorts of other models. And we'll see that in a minute when I go through this. And it connects to other parts of the model. So what are the things that are going to produce the potential revenue streams? What are the key performance indicators? How is firm infrastructure going to be used? And so the models will be used by different audiences. And so having those notes in there will allow everyone in the organization from all disciplines to understand what the model's about, and particularly for newcomers. And I'm often in that position, Scott, when I come to a new organization and looking at, I of course have a background in many areas of disciplines and vertical and horizontal markets, but often I need to know specifically what an organization, what their intention is, and notes are very, very powerful for that.
Excellent. And I imagine capturing that IP is quite valuable in case staff leave and they take that information with them. So
absolutely. Yeah. So let's have a look and see what we've completed when we did that magic. So we had our primary activities completed, and you can see that we've got notes on them there. And now we've got our secondary or support activities, and these have all got notes as well. But the thing is, it doesn't stop here, Scott. Like, let's take this key performance indicators, for example. Like, exactly what are they? So you can see here by the side of this element, there's a little indicator, like a little eye indicator, that shows that we can look at something that's underneath this, which is a diagram. So you can see now, if this has popped up and I can see that there's a diagram underneath that, I can click through to that diagram, and this is giving me the key performance indicators. So user adoption rate, the customer satisfaction score, environmental impact, system uptime, revenue per parking space. And if I select any of these, you can see over in the notes, and again, back to your point of how detailed these notes are, you can see now that these key performance indicators have got a lot more information about them. So we've got, what is that? What is the definition of that? The revenue generated divided by the number of parking meters. How is it calculated? The detailed breakdowns, optimization strategies, dynamic pricing models, zone-based pricing, time of day rate adjustments, demand response pricing. So benchmarking. So all of these things are going to add to the understanding of the model. Now, I could have put all these just in notes, but a really useful thing is to do what we've done here is to break them out into actual elements. So this revenue per parking space element, I can then break that down and people can look at dynamic pricing models and do some analysis for that. How's that going to work? Zone-based pricing. So, there are different zones in an urban environment. There are things that are close to the city. There are things that are close to, like entertainment venues, like a stadium or a concert hall. So all of those things, time of day adjustments, all sorts of other things we can do. So we can take this model down and then now look at how we explore this revenue per parking space. And if I just left it up here as a note without that possibility, you'd see that, I wouldn't be able to continue the modeling process and get down to the people that are going to explore how is dynamic pricing going to work? How is it going to work from a business point of view? How is it going to work from a technology point of view? What other components do we need to put in place or devices or infrastructure to make that work? So I guess the take-home message here, Scott, is this is a strategic model and obviously at a very high level in an organization, but doing this inside Enterprise Architect is a really powerful mechanism to take your models down from this strategic level all the way through traceability, all the way down to the nuts and bolts of how this is all going to work. So how you move through that value chain to produce, great outcomes for your customers.
And then I assume some of those KPIs might be able to be assigned to individual staff members, so you have accountability as well.
Exactly, that's exactly right. And all of these other ones, like the procurement one as well, all of them can be taken down here to this other level, including this one here. So we can look at that, the inbound logistics, and we can look at that. We can pop that up again, and we can see that we've got these elements for infrastructure preparation and technology procurement. So, the site surveying and mapping of the parking locations, the preparing physical infrastructure for meter installation, coordinating with municipal urban planning departments. So it's all there and all starting a narrative that can be explored. And the intention is to create great value products and services for customers, whether they're internal or external.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Stephen. If someone from our YouTube channel is watching and would like some help with strategic models or modeling in general, how might they be able to reach out and get in touch?
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, I'm always available and delighted to speak to anyone that's interested in modeling, and I can be reached through LinkedIn. There's a link on the video, I believe, to be able to reach me on LinkedIn. And don't be shy. I'd be delighted to speak with you.
Excellent. Thanks, Stephen. So I'd like to thank everyone from our YouTube audience for viewing today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Sparx Systems YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with all the latest and greatest videos on Enterprise Architect and some of the other Sparx Systems tools. Really look forward to reading your comments. We love your suggestions and we love hearing from you. So thanks very much. Thanks for your time again, Stephen, and it's great to learn about value chain today. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Scott.